Hi everyone, thanks for joining me. I am Sheila and welcome to this chair and standing yoga practice. So as I mentioned, today's practice we'll use a chair. We will start seated in the chair, we'll transition through a great majority of standing poses, and then we'll return to the chair at the end for some stretches. If you prefer not to use the chair, you can just use your mat. Now you might notice, if you're wondering what supplies you need, a chair, if you're going to use a chair. And I like the chair for our seated poses. I also like the chair for our balance poses. It allows us to really settle into our balance poses when we have that chair there. And the other thing you might notice is I have a block. I like to use the block when we do our half sun salutations, so that when we come into those forward folds, we have an area for our hands to release to. So if you have a block and you want to grab that for your practice, great. If you have something else you like using in place of a block, go ahead and bring that to your practice space as well. The other thing I like is by using the chair, if you don't have a block, when we come into those forward folds, we can gently bring our hands to the chair. So that's another option too. So those are the things we need. I have my chair on a yoga mat. I'm outside on this kind of cement space, so it feels nice and secure on a yoga mat. You're welcome to do that as well, and then use the mat for our standing poses. Or if you are on a carpeted surface and your chair doesn't slide around, that can be great. So again, choosing what works for you. As we move into this practice that's all about creating space, I think of a line I've heard many times, and you probably have as well, about you don't practice yoga to get better at yoga, you practice yoga to get better at living. And that ties into our theme today about creating space. So in our practice, in many of our poses, I might bring us back to the space we're creating. And you say, well, why focus on space? And I'm going to share with you an excerpt of a reading by Baron Baptiste. I was reading in his book, one of his yoga books, and this just jumped out at me. Ultimately, yoga is about creating space. Space within your spine, within those secret pockets of tightness in our body. Space between our muscle fibers, our bones, and our joints, and space between our doubts and beliefs. Space between our emotions and reactions. And I love this. And most importantly, space between our ears. With new space, we become an open vessel to receive new insights, new information. And again, that was Baron Baptiste. And I would say new possibilities. When we create this space, when we create this strength and openness, it creates new possibilities in our mind and new possibilities in our body. We allow ourselves to move in ways we didn't move before. So again, we will move through a variety of poses that are going to take up space and bring our attention back to creating space. So I hope you enjoy today's practice. We will start in a seated position. And if you have a block or a prop you're using, go ahead and just set that aside for now. And we're going to start in our mountain pose. So with feet firmly planted on the ground, I am scooched away from the back of the chair, so I'm sitting closer to the front half of the chair if that is a comfortable spot for you. If not, just finding that comfortable spot that allows you to have a long spine. Shoulders are softened down and back. Hands are relaxed. Eyes are maybe softly focused, or you're looking around to take in the world around you. And I just ask us to maybe take a moment to draw our attention to our breath. We'll be coming back to our breath throughout the practice, and obviously we'll be breathing all the time in the practice, but drawing attention to our breath and thinking about that spaciousness. maybe as we begin, we start thinking about the spaciousness in our inhales and taking in the amount of air that we need to create that space as we fill up from our belly all the way up to our rib cage. And then we slowly are able to let that out. So taking a few spacious breaths in a way that feels good to you. As we practice today, everything needs to be in a way that feels good to you. I will offer ideas and suggestions as we flow together today, but I want you to be able to make your practice your own and notice what you need in your body and in your mind today. And that's the best part of practice, is you make it your own. So from here, let's build up on that spaciousness by inhaling and bringing the arms up overhead really nice and slowly. Big, big, big deep breath with a stretch. And on the exhale, let's just slowly let that breath out and let the chin come towards the chest. And again, a nice, slow, deep inhale. Lifting the chin as we lift the arms. And on the exhale, let's release the arms down as the chin comes towards the chest. Maybe 2 more of those nice, deep, spacious breaths. And releasing the head down as the arms come down. 1 more. Filling up on that inhale and releasing on the exhale. From here, let's go ahead and inhale and just bring the arms out about shoulder height, if that's comfortable for you. Maybe you're wiggling the fingers a little bit. We're just feeling the energy from one hand to the fingertips of the other hand, letting the shoulders soften down. And let's take an inhale together, if you will. And on the exhale, let's just turn our head to look out over one shoulder, either shoulder you choose, and breathe as we get a little neck stretch. Now let's go ahead and bring our head back center. Spine is long, let's let the arms come down. Roll the shoulders a few times. And then let's inhale again, bringing the arms out to the side, shoulders soften down. Let's take a slow inhale in, if you will. On your exhale, turning to look out towards the opposite hand. Again, fingers are wiggling a little bit, feeling the energy from one hand to the next, stretching the neck. And then when you're ready, bring your head back center. Let the arms come down as the chin tucks towards the chest. Bringing the head back center, we're going to move through a few more shoulder rolls, just bringing the shoulders up and down and back. And letting the hands come to rest. Let's just bring our attention down to our feet for a moment and lift the heels up. And then lower them down. Lift them up and lower them down. About 3 more, just lifting those heels up and lowering. Excellent. I hear a bee near me. So excited to get more bees back in my gardens this year. Go ahead and with either foot, we're just going to roll out that ankle one direction or in that. Now you can keep that heel on the floor if you'd like. You can lift underneath that thigh to lift that foot up off the ground. You can hold down in the front, whatever feels good. Just rolling that ankle, getting a little movement, and then letting that foot come to rest, switching to the other side. Pointing and flexing, rolling the ankle one direction and the other, feeling some nice movement in the feet. Let's let the feet come to rest. And we'll begin some arm flowing by inhaling the arms up. And on the exhale, let's open to cactus arms, opening the chest, maybe lifting the gaze if you wish. Inhale back to center. On the exhale, we're going to open twist. You can choose either side. Inhale as we sweep the arms back up. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale as we reach. Exhale as we open twist. Knees and feet are staying in the same position. We come back to center. We open to cactus arms. Reaching. Open twist. Sweeping that arm up. Opening to cactus arms. Inhaling as you reach. Exhaling as you twist. Inhaling as you rise. Exhaling, opening. Inhaling as you reach. Exhaling as you twist. Inhaling, coming back to center. Exhaling, cactus arms. Inhale as you reach. Exhale, open twist. Inhale as you sweep that arm back to center. Open to cactus arms. Reach high. And this time we're going to settle into our twist a little bit, letting the arms gently fall down. Maybe one to the back of the chair, one to the outside of your knee. And then option to look out over your back shoulder if that feels good for your neck, or the front shoulder. I'm going to look out over the back shoulder. Noticing lots of orioles at the bird view right now. These are the juveniles that have come back. Or have grown, I guess I should say. One more breath here. And then on your next inhale, let's go ahead and sweep the arms back up, coming back to center, opening to cactus arms, reaching and floating to the other side. Spine is long and tall. Again, we're creating that space, opening. Choosing to look out over the back shoulder or the front shoulder, your option. And on your next inhale, let's bring the hands back, up high. On the exhale, open to cactus arms. On the inhale, let's reach. On the exhale, let's just roll the wrist as we bring the arms down. Rolling the shoulders a little bit. Excellent. Coming back to center, we are going to heel toe our feet apart really mindfully. So I'm just saying, drawing attention to how we can build the strength and the muscles as we intentionally move those feet out to the side. Toes are out, heels are in, spine is still nice and long. And as you're ready, let's inhale the arms up. And then on the exhale, let's bring our hands through heart center. Inhale as we open and we really push out. We're taking all this energy, we're pushing out, we're creating space, and then we're going to reach. You can choose either side and then come back center. Reaching, I'm pushing my forearm into the thigh a little bit, and then I come back center. Now a slight hinge of the hips as I just sweep the arms down, and then I come back up and come through center. So opening strong, reaching to one side, reaching to the other, creating space in the spine, in the body, releasing down in the mind, right? I think one more way we create that space is as we become more tuned to what our body needs. Let's sweep the arms down around and we come back up and bring the hands back to heart center. We become stronger, fluid, more spacious in our body, more spacious in our movements, which gives us more possibilities, right? From here, let's go ahead and inhale the feet back in, let the arms come down, roll the shoulders a little bit, shake that out to release it. Excellent. From here, we're just going to move into some cat and cows. I'm just going to turn sideways on my chair. You can stay exactly as you are. So with that long spine and the feet hip distance apart, we're just going to slowly soften the belly as we move into a cat pose. We soften the belly, lift the gaze. And as we move, oh, I said cat. I think I said, I don't know, it was cow pose. Moving into our cat, we want to tuck that low belly in as we round into the cat spine. Inhaling as we move to cow. Exhaling as we move to our cat. So moving in rhythm with your own breath. A few more cows and cats. And don't hesitate to pause at one cow or one cat if you feels good to hold in that. And then we'll meet back together with a neutral spine, coming back to our seated mountain pose. From here, we're going to warm up the rest of our core muscles with a little bit of a dancing cat. Who doesn't like a dancing cat? We actually have a kitten right now. Let's go ahead and bring our arms up overhead. And then a couple options. We can interlace the hands behind the head. We can bring them to the sides of our head like earmuffs, which in the Midwest we know what earmuffs are. You can bring them to our shoulders, so whatever feels better for your body, all right? And then what we're gonna do is take an inhale in, and on the exhale, I'm gonna bring my right elbow towards my left knee. Right now I'm lifting my heel off the ground, and then I'm lowering it as I come back up. So I can do that. Or on the exhale, I can pull that knee and elbow closer together. So either lifting the foot off of the mat or lifting the heel off of the mat. You decide what works well for you. Same thing with your arm location. Exhaling as we tuck that knee and elbow closer together. One more on this side. And then come back to center, release the arms down, roll the shoulders. Let's get ready for the other side. So bringing those arms up overhead, choosing where you'd like them, on your shoulders, interlaced, again, your choice. We inhale as we lengthen the spine. On the exhale, we're gonna take the opposite shoulder towards the opposite knee. Again, maybe that knee lifts, my chair is folding up a little bit, or maybe we keep the foot on the ground and we lift the heel as we bend towards it. The knee and elbow need not touch as we move through our dancing cat, but they're welcome to. And as we exhale, we're really focusing on using that core to lift the knee or lift the heel. Let's just do two more on this side. One more. And then let's come down. Let the shoulders come down and release, arms come down and release. Awesome. Let's intentionally heel toe those feet apart. Continuing on this theme, we're going to inhale the arms up. Exhale, hands come behind the head, again to the shoulders, whatever you prefer, okay? We're gonna take an inhale in. On the exhale, this time we're just going to the side, and then we're pulling that low belly in and coming back. We'll stay on this side for a few, whichever side you decided to start on. One more. Come back to center. Let the shoulders come down. Roll them, maybe roll them in the opposite direction. Shake the arms out. Preparing for the other side. Again, bringing those arms up overhead And then maybe you bring them to your shoulders this time, or your ears, you decide, or you still interlace. And we just soften down to the side, and then we hug that belly in as we rise. High twix. This is our cat twix. And one more. And then let's come back to center. Let the arms come down. He's just gonna stay here and supervise a little bit. This is about the time of the afternoon. Roll the shoulders out a little bit that he starts getting very concerned about dinner. And I swear he can tell time. So he's probably gonna keep his eye on me just to make sure he doesn't miss it. From here, let's go ahead and heel toe the feet back together. Excellent. From here, we're gonna transition to standing. Lots of options to do that. One is we can push into the thighs and rise, and as we rise, unfurling the arms, and then we're gonna sweep back, coming back to our chair. So our sit to stance. You can also sweep the arms alongside as you rise up, and then sweep them back down. Or again, hands can be on the thighs, you push into the thighs and rise, and then you come back down. So let's do two more. This is why it's good to never have a chair with wheels. And always make sure when you come back down, the chair is where you left it. All right, let's go ahead and on this last one, let's stand up, bring the hands to heart center. Take a slow inhale and exhale. And here we go. So moving on, feel free to grab a drink of water at any time. I lost mine someplace around here. All right, so great to always stay hydrated anytime, particularly if it's warm, but anytime it's a great idea, right? In the middle of winter, it's a great idea because we're still losing that moisture. We want to continue to replenish. All right, that's a different subject. So we are going to move into some sun salutations. So to do this, feel free to grab your block, or if you would like to face the seat of your chair, that works beautifully as well. I just like it when we come down that we have some place for those hands to go, so we don't feel like we're dangling and putting a lot of strain on any one part of our body. We want to build strength and support ourselves as we build that strength. Now, using the block, you can have that in the tall height, the medium height, low height. It's like the three bears. Using the chair, you can soften your hands to that height on a forward fold. So, your choice. See what works well for your body. So we're going to start in our mountain pose. Mountain pose, right? Speaking of building space, creating space, a spacious, beautiful, strong mountain. Shoulders are down and back. Spine is long. From here, let's bend the knees and sweep the arms up. Nice and slowly on this first one. And then put a big bend in the knees and come down into our forward fold. Keeping that bend in the knees as we soften down. Inhale as you walk your hands up for your half lift, maybe to your shins, maybe to your thighs. Let's take a few breaths here. And then on your next exhale, let's soften back to our forward fold. Again, inhaling as we rise to our half lift. Exhale as we soften, forward fold. On an inhale, let's really put a deep bend in the knees. And then we're going to pull the belly to the spine as we rise partway up. Then inhaling as we extend that rise, coming up to a tall mountain. Opening to cactus arms. Inhale as we reach. Exhale as we add a side bend. Inhale back to center. Exhale, side bend. Inhale to center. Exhale, bringing the hands to heart center. Excellent. So there we have our base sun salutation. We're going to add on with some chair options right now. So I'll be moving to face you and turning to this side, but you can just stay faced the way you are facing. Inhale the arms up. Big bend in the knees as we sweep those arms down into our forward fold. Inhale as we rise to a half lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale as we bend the knees to prepare. Exhale, let's pull the belly to the spine as we begin rising up. Inhaling as we finish that rise. Opening to cactus arms. Inhale as we reach. Exhale as we lengthen and reach. Inhale, center. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, center. And let's come into our chair pose. So sending the hips back and the knees back. Taking a moment here, maybe bringing your hands to heart center. Lengthening your spine. Toes are light. From here, we're going to just do a little bit of an add-on where we add some heat in our chair pose. So we will bring our arms out as we inhale. On the exhale, we're going to stand up, firming everything up, pulling the elbows back, bringing the fist towards the hips. So we inhale, chair pose. Exhale, fist to waist. Inhale. Moving at your own breath. Firming everything up as we rise up tall. One more. And then let's meet up together in our chair pose, bringing the hands to heart center, and let's just kind of pull the shoulders back a little bit, just settling them back onto our spine. All right, taking a few breaths here. On an inhale, let's really lengthen the spine. On an exhale, let's come into a forward fold. Inhale as we rise to a half lift. Exhale as we soften forward fold. Inhale as we put a deep bend in the knees. Exhale. Let's power up that core, feeling the energy rise from the earth all the way to the fingertips and open to cactus arms. Inhale as you reach. Exhale, we're going to come back to a chair pose. This time we're going to bring our fingertips together if that feels good to you. So I've kind of got my hands tented a little bit, all right? And we're going to add a little fiery twist. So we're going to inhale as we lengthen, lifting the arms as much as you prefer. On the exhale, twist to either side. We're coming back to chair pose from the waist down, and we're adding a twist in the upper body. And then we inhale as we rise, creating this length and space. Exhale as we twist. Moving at your own breath, creating your own flow. Maybe drawing attention to your knees as you settle back into your chair pose, and just noticing if they're wanting to twist with you a lot. Maybe you want to widen your stance a little bit for a wider base. Working to keep the knees and upper or lower body facing forward as the twist occurs in that upper body, that rib cage area and up. Exhaling as we twist. Let's do one more on each side. Creating length and strength, right? And then let's come back to our chair pose. Once again, let's just let the shoulders soften down and back again. Taking an inhale to lengthen the spine. On the exhale, softening, forward fold. Inhale as you rise, half lift. Exhale as you soften, forward fold. Inhale as you deeply bend the knees. Exhale as we push into the earth. We hug that belly in. We inhale as we lengthen. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale as we reach. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, center. Exhale as we open the cactus arms, maybe lifting the gaze. Inhale as we reach. Exhale, let's come back to mountain pose. Taking a few moments here to just breathe. Notice the strength in your body, the strength in your mind, the space you're creating in your body, the space you're creating in your mind. And then let's release that. Go ahead and shake that out a little bit. Find a little bit of movement. Great time to take a drink of water. Or iced tea. Little iced tea lemonade mix. Tasty in the summer. Awesome. All right, so we're going to transition into some balancing with tree pose. So an option I have now, I'm going to move my chair differently. I may suggest you may want to have your chair in front of you. Okay, so that as we move one side of the tree to the other side of the tree, that chair is always there to tap your hand down onto. All right, so for our purposes though, I'm going to move my chair more to the side so that you, if you need to, if you're learning tree pose and you want to be able to glance at me, you can do that and be unobstructed. The chair is not obstructing your view. So with that chair in front of you, which as we practice all of our standing poses, the chair in front of us is an awesome spot. And I love how we can just tap one hand down to give us a little more length and strength to grow into a pose. So moving into tree pose, one of my most favorite poses ever, which is neither here nor there, I know. All right, so a couple options for that. Again, we have the chair in front of us. I'm going to turn mine this way just so as I demonstrate. We had to have the chair in front of us, and then our right leg is going to be our standing leg to start with. Now, if you're using a block, lots of different options. So the first option is in that tree pose, we can bring the foot on top of the other foot. Okay, we can bring it so the heel is on the inside of that standing leg. Okay. We can place that block between our feet, and again, if our chair is in front of us, maybe one hand on the chair, and we can lift up the other foot to the block and then open to tree pose. And the other option is, I know I'm giving you lots of options, the other option is we can bring that foot up our leg part way, with the only caution being we don't want to place it on the knee joint. We can place it above the knee joint or below the knee joint, but not on that knee joint for safety. All right, so let's go ahead and come into our tree pose, choosing your option, the block, the calf, any of those options I mentioned. All right. Now, with our hands still released, maybe one hand on the chair again, you can have one or both hands on the chair, drawing attention to the spine right now, thinking of the strong oak tree or another variety of tree that has that strong trunk. Hugging your core in, finding that strength, taking a moment to find that drishti, that focal point you can softly fix your gaze at, and then choosing any hand position. Maybe it's heart center, out to the side, lifted, you choose. And breathe. Taking a few breaths here. If we tap out of our tree with that lifted leg, no worries at all. We can literally climb right back to that tree, right? So let's go ahead. If your hands are lifted, bring them to heart center. Release the lifted leg and then move side to side a little bit, maybe lifting the knees a little bit. Maybe with one hand on the chair, we take that standing leg behind us just to stretch it out for a little bit. And then let's come back to tree setup. This time we're going to move to the other side. So choosing your location for that foot, standing leg is strong and yet a little soft, right? We open the hip. We find where we would like our arms to be. Again, if your chair is in front of you, maybe one is on the chair. That would look something like this. And again, you can bring those arms up high. There are as many different ways to move your arms in tree as there are trees surrounding us, right? So I'm pushing my foot into my calf as I'm pushing my calf into my foot, creating length and strength in our tree pose. A couple more breaths. And then let's release that foot down. Again, maybe lifting the knees a little bit. And then we are going to step back with the standing leg. I'm having a feeling, I'm pretty sure I just did tree on the same side on both legs. I hope you didn't do tree on both sides on the same legs. Oh goodness. Sometimes I mirror, sometimes I'm going directly, and I realized, I think I just did that. These things happen, right? We're nothing if not flexible in yoga. All right, so now with our chair pose, again, this would be a great time to have your chair in front of you so you're able to tap it down, because we worked on that static balance, that holding. Now we're gonna work a little bit on our dynamic balance as we move between chair pose and tree pose. So again, that chair in front of you gives you that great option of tapping down on the chair, all right? I'm gonna turn sideways so that you can see, actually, I'll do a little bit of both. All right, so my right leg is the standing leg. I'm opening the left leg, all right? And then what I'm doing from here is I'm gonna transition into a chair pose, all right? So I'm going to bring my hands to heart center, send my hips back, coming into a chair pose. Then I'm going to sweep one or both arms up as I lift that knee and come into tree, and then I come back down to chair. So moving at your own pace, we're staying on the same side of the body, whichever leg you chose to start with. We're still softly fixing our gaze to help with our concentration. Excellent. If you're using the block between your legs, perfect. If you're coming straight down, awesome as well. One more. And then the next time you come into tree, let's hold for a few breaths on this side, any location for your arms, right? And then let's release down. All right, shake that out a little bit, lift those knees, send that standing leg back. Unless you're like me and you've been using the same standing leg. All right, we're gonna switch to the other side. So again, with your chair in front of you, you can easily do that. This time for me, the left leg is going to be the standing leg. You choose which one you didn't do, all right? And this time, let's start in a chair pose since we know where we're going a little bit. So we sweep the arms down and we open into a tree, and then we come back to a chair. And the hand that corresponds with the standing leg could stay on your chair if you'd like. Adjusting yourself so you're in a good spot where you can touch the chair. The other nice thing about home practice is you maybe are by a counter or something and you're using that to allow you to go deeper into your balance pose. And then on your next one, let's hold a little bit. Any location for the hands and the feet. Taking some spacious breaths. If you tip like I'm doing, it's all good. Bringing the knee back in, bringing the feet down, and then stretching out that standing leg a little bit. Tipping, wobbling, blowing in the breeze. It's all good, right? Excellent. Now let's come back to standing. Roll those shoulders down and back. Bringing the arms out in front of us. Let's bring the backs of the hands together. Sweep them behind us. Interlace the hands and then just letting the shoulders soften down and back. If that feels good to you, you can also bring your hands to the small of the back. Just stretching the chest in a hurdle. Creating space in these muscles that often get rounded in. And I know even in tree pose, sometimes it's easy to round in those shoulders. Excellent. Let's release that, shake that out. Great time to take a drink of water as we get ready to transition on to our next series. I'm going to set the block about center in my mat so that we can move into a sun salutation as we need. For these purposes, we're going to be moving through some warrior twos, some wide leg options, some star, some sun sweeps. And this would, again, if you're at home, it would be awesome if you had your chair in front of you right now. I'm going to set mine to the side just so that you can see better. I know otherwise you can only just see a chair and then you think, what is she doing? All right, so, and you may not need to watch. Maybe you're just auditory and you're just listening, which is perfect as well. So from here, we're in our strong mountain pose. We are going to carefully heel toe our feet apart so that we land with our toes out and our heels in. And then at this point, maybe add a little side to side movement. Just making sure you're comfortable in this position, or if you need to adjust your feet. We want our knees and our feet going towards the same direction as we come down, all right? So maybe a wider stance, maybe a narrower stance. Yoga is about playing and finding what feels good in your body. So be playful with altering your position. And then as you're ready, let's sweep up into a 5-pointed star. Let the shoulders soften down. Talk about creating space, right? I love a 5-pointed star. It's this big pose where we really take up space. From here, let's transition into temple or goddess pose, bringing the hands through heart center, sweeping up. Coming down. Inhaling as we rise. Exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. Inhaling. And exhaling. One more. Let's inhale as we meet in that 5-pointed star. On the exhale, we're going to bring that back foot in, open those front toes out, and transition to a warrior two. So taking a moment to build your alignment in a warrior two, giving yourself plenty of width between both feet, finding the spot that feels good to you, softening the shoulders down, whoosh, feeling that energy from fingertip to fingertip as we move into warrior two. From here, let's just flip that front palm and open up our warrior. Taking a few breaths here. And let's come back to warrior two. Moving into side angle, let's reach forward, let the back arm go down, around and up. Again, feeling that energy from fingertips down to the toes. And let's sweep back to our warrior two. Reversing our warrior. Warrior two. Side angle. Warrior two. Reverse warrior. Side angle. And let's meet in a warrior two. On your next inhale, let's go ahead and bring the arms back up to center. On the exhale, let's just reposition the feet, coming back to our center pose. Let's bring the hands through heart center, moving back and forth a little bit. Excellent. And let's burn brightly like the sun with some sun sweeps. So to do that, we're going to meet in our 5-pointed star, and then you can choose either side to start your sweep. We bend one knee as we sweep towards that knee, allowing our hands to come down a bit. And as we sweep towards the other knee, we bend that while we're straightening the other one. So just moving through sun sweeps at your own pace. And the next time you come up, go ahead and reverse that sun sweep in the opposite direction. Now again, as you're wanting, you can always have that chair right in front of you now, and then just keep one hand, maybe you're sweeping with one hand, or you transition the hands as you move through. Just finding what works for you. Let's meet up in a 5-pointed star. Take a big inhale as we take in all this space. On the exhale, let's transition warrior two to the other side. So opening the front set of toes, so the knee and the toes are going in the same direction. Maybe that back foot has a little bit of an angle, and we've given ourselves plenty of width in our warrior two. Strong warrior, let's wiggle those fingertips, whoosh, sending out the energy from our core. As you're ready, reverse your warrior by flipping that palm and reaching up and back to your warrior two. Moving to a side angle. And back to a warrior two. Reverse warrior. Warrior two. One more, let's reverse our warrior. Warrior two, side angle, warrior two. Excellent, let the arms come down. Let's straighten that front leg. We're going to transition back to center here. All right, little side to side movement. Our last little sequence in this wide angle position. So rolling our shoulders down. We're gonna do what we did in the warm-up, where we come into a 5-pointed star, and then we bring our hands through to heart center as we come into temple or goddess. Whoosh, open strong, and we reach, and we open, and we reach, and we open. We hinge at the hips as we sweep the arms down, straighten the legs as we come up, and back through heart center. Opening, reaching, opening, reaching, opening, sweeping the arms down, coming back up. One more time, bringing the hands through to heart center, pushing out strong, reaching, strong, reaching, sweeping the arms down, around and up. And let's meet in a 5-pointed star. Let the shoulders soften down. Maybe you lift the gaze a little bit. And let's bring the hands to heart center. From here, let's move our feet back into position by heel toeing them. Roll the shoulders down and back. We're going to move into a sun salutation. So if your block is in front of you, or your whichever prop you're using, that is awesome. So let's bend the knees, sweep the arms up. As you exhale, let's bring the hands through heart center, coming down into our forward fold, keeping a bend in the knees. Inhale as we rise to our half lift. Exhale as we soften, forward fold. Inhale as we deeply bend. Exhale as we pull that belly in. We begin to rise, and then we inhale as we find all the space. Exhale, cactus arms. Inhale as you reach. Let's add a side bend back in. Coming back center. Side bend to the other side. Coming back center. And then let's go ahead and bring our hands to heart center. From here, once again, we're going to bring our hands out in front of us. Bring the backs of the hands closer together. Sweep the arms behind you, interlacing, rolling the shoulders down and back, and just breathing. Breathing, opening the chest again. Another option is we can bring hands to the fists, to the small of the back, if that feels great. So choosing what works well for you. A little bit of a breeze blowing through right now. That feels great. Let's go ahead and release. Shake that out, lift the knees, move side to side a little bit. Great time to take a little drink of water. Excellent. As I do a little check with the camera to make sure it hasn't overheated and stopped recording, which happens quite frequently. I know because it's happened from experience. Awesome. All right. Great, awesome work today, everybody. From here, we're going to come into one more sun salutation before we do a few other stretches. So let's bend the knees, sweep the arms up. As we exhale, let's dive into our forward fold. Hands come to the floor, the block, the chair. Inhale as we rise to our half lift. Exhale as we soften and fold. Inhale, deeply bending the knees. Exhale, pushing into the earth, taking all that energy up, just like the tree, taking all the energy up through out to our branches, opening the cactus arms. Inhale as you reach. On the exhale, we're going to come down into a tall chair. So rather than sitting back really low, we're going to kind of stay a little bit higher. We're going to move into some standing cows and cats. So by softening the belly and lifting the gaze for our cow, and then tucking and rounding for our cat. So again, moving at your own breath. Maybe you inhale as you move into your cow, exhaling as you tuck into your cat. Your option. And then after your next cow and cat, just slowly unwind the spine, coming all the way up to standing. Excellent. We're going to do another stretch before we return to sitting on the chair. If your chair is in front of you, perfect, so that we can use that as we move into this stretch. So with the right foot being grounded, I'm going to cross the left foot over, so we've got a little bit of a balance here. And then I'm going to take that left arm and reach over. So again, if your chair is in front of you, just leave that hand on the chair, or it can slide down your side. And then we're going to release, uncross the feet, change directions. Right leg comes over left. Maybe your left hand is on the chair as your right arm reaches over. Coming back to center. One more on each side. Creating this full stretch from fingertips all the way energetically down to the earth. Releasing, coming to the other side. Lovely. And then back to center. Roll the shoulders a little bit to shake that out. And then let's come back to our chair. Feel free if you want to get a drink first. And then we'll meet back in our chair. For a few more stretches, okay? From here, let's go ahead and focus on our legs and feet a little bit. So moving into a figure four, you can do this on whichever side you prefer, crossing one ankle over the other ankle, or crossing that ankle, bringing it up on top of your knee. So either figure four version that feels good to you. You can also extend, if you're crossing at the ankle, you can extend the, what would be your standing leg, so to speak. So again, choosing what option feels good. We're gonna keep the spine nice and long. Let's take an inhale as we really lengthen and create space in the spine. As we exhale, let's just hinge forward a little bit. Hands are just gently resting on that bent leg, bringing the heart closer to that leg, moving in a way that feels good, stretching in a way that feels good. And then let's slowly come back to seated. Excellent. From here, we're going to take that crossed leg, that lifted leg, and then we're just going to hold on to it however we prefer. So maybe it's in the front of the leg, maybe it's underneath, maybe the heel is on the ground. Just coming back to where we started when we began our practice, rolling out the ankle one direction and then the other, pointing and flexing the toes, the foot, the ankle. And then from here, again, your foot can stay lifted, or you can let that heel come to the mat. Let's squeeze our toes together super tightly. Just squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then whoosh, we open them and create this space, right? Trying to create space between the toes, strengthen each toe, and then let's let the foot come down. Maybe you can shake that out a little bit, release that stretch. Moving to the opposite side, crossing again either at the ankle or lifting that leg up. Knowing that you might do one on one side and might do one on the other because your hips can be very different, right? So let's take an inhale as we lengthen the spine, and on the exhale, soften into our seated fold. Breathing. And with every exhale, maybe you breathe out any tension or any holding, any gripping, allowing your body to soften, to start releasing, to create space, to loosen any tightness. Bringing our body back up to seated, to our mountain pose. We're going to go ahead and roll out the other ankle, the other foot. Holding on to that foot in any which way you want, and maybe in a way which lets you keep the spine long versus rounding in. So depending on your arm to leg ratio, right? You may find one spot a better spot to hold on to, or you may just like that heel being grounded on the mat. So after you've rolled the ankle both directions, pointed and flexed, so it's also a great thing to do in the morning before you rise for the day, bringing one knee in towards the chest and rolling out the foot, and then the other knee. From here, let's go ahead, just like we did on the other side, let's really squeeze those toes together. Just squeeze, 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 and then stretching and releasing, working to create space between each little toe. I shouldn't say little toe, each powerful toe. Gosh, those are powerful. And then release that foot down. Excellent. From here, let's move up a little bit, stretching the shoulders and the spine and the back a little bit. So on an inhale, let's just open the arms to the side. On an exhale, let's move into eagle arms, bringing the right arm under the left, Maybe we bring our hands to our shoulders and lift our elbows about shoulder height if that feels good. Or maybe we bring the hands, the palms together, or we wrap them. Seeing what type of eagle arm you prefer. We can also, one of my teachers calls this a shelf. Make this little shelf. All right, so choosing what feels good for you. We're keeping the spine nice and long. Breathing. Let's really lengthen the spine as we rise up. On the exhale, let's release the arms, bringing them to the back of the chair. Letting them soften down, just opening the chest, lifting the gaze, maybe lifting the chin. From here, let's sweep our arms out in front of us, interlacing and pushing away. Think of your cat back right now, kind of tucking the chin a little bit. And then let's really hug that low belly to the spine as we bring our arms up overhead. We can keep a bend in the elbows, then just a slight bend. One elbow, bending towards that side, nice and slowly. A little slow bend towards the other side. Coming back to center, releasing the hands, rolling the wrists as we bring them down. Rolling the shoulders. On your next inhale, let's sweep the arms out. On the exhale, this time let's bring the left arm under the right, coming into your eagle arms. Chest is long and strong. Feet are firmly planted, firm but soft. Slowing your breath. Maybe with each exhale, releasing any tightness, creating that space that comes from release. And then I invite you to take another inhale to lengthen. On the exhale, sweeping the arms to the back of the chair. Shoulders come down and back. Maybe we lift the gaze a little bit. Breathing. Bringing the head back towards the center, towards midline, the horizon. Let's interlace the hands, push away as we tuck the chin a little bit. Excellent. And then let's hug the belly towards the spine. Arms come up overhead, shoulders soften down. Little bend as we side bend to each side. And release the arms overhead. And this time, thinking about rolling the wrists in the opposite direction. Excellent. A few shoulder rolls here. And then let's go ahead and let the hands come to rest on the thighs. With this strong mountain pose, let's take an inhale in. And on the exhale, just let an ear float to that side's shoulder. So right ear, left ear, you choose. And keep breathing as we create space between the ear and the shoulder. Maybe you also choose to add a hand on top of the head just for weight, not for pressure. Or maybe you like one hand out to the side and you like to wiggle those fingers. Or maybe you bend at the elbow and bring that hand behind your back so the top of your hand is facing your back. Now, option to slowly just turn your head a little bit and look towards the floor. That feels good. Or stay in the original position. releasing that side, coming back to center. A few shoulder rolls, one side and then the other. And then let's switch to your opposite side. So whichever side you didn't do for your tilting your ear towards the shoulder, go ahead and do that one now. Torso still stays long. Again, your hand options are certainly yours to choose. And on this side as well, there's that option to turn your head so you're looking towards the ground. Taking a few breaths. And slowly releasing, bringing the head back to the center. Arms come towards the thighs. And let's just let the chin just release towards the chest, creating this space and length in the back of our neck, back of our spine. Breathing. Excellent. As you're ready, slowly bring your gaze back to center. And again, maybe you add a few shoulder rolls. And then let's go ahead and inhale the shoulders up towards the ears as we squeeze them up. And on the exhale, let's release and soften down. Inhaling as we squeeze the shoulders up towards the ears. Exhaling as we just let them soften down. One more time, inhaling as we squeeze. Exhaling as we soften down. Bringing the hands back to the thighs. As we prepare to move to our constructive rest, right? Our Savasana. So lots of different options for this. Maybe you release back into the chair and just allow yourself to soften. Softening your gaze. Maybe you're outside and you just want to keep your gaze soft, but taking in all that's around you. If you're a person who likes to transition to the floor or the mat, you can do that as well. Coming into a pose on your back. Or if you're on your mat, you can heel toe your feet towards the edges of the mat and let the knees fold in together. You can extend your legs long, any position, as we just spend a few minutes releasing into our Savasana. Allowing us time to absorb the space that we've created. Allowing us time to revel in that space that we've created. As I reground us in our excerpt from Baron Baptiste, that yoga is about creating space. Space within your spine. Space within those secret pockets of tightness in your body. Space between your muscle joints and your fibers, and your muscle fibers and your joints and your bones, but creating that space open. Space between your doubts and your beliefs. Space between your emotions and your reactions. And most importantly, space between our ears. space, we become an open vessel to receive new insights, new information, and I would add a vessel for new possibilities. I invite you to stay in your Shavasana position as long as you wish, allowing yourself to revel in the space that you have created, in the strength that this space has created, allowing you to appreciate all of those things within you. And I will close my time with you with a yoga blessing, an Apache blessing. May the sun bring you new energy by day. May the moon softly restore you by night. May the rain just wash away your worries. And may the breeze blow new strength into your being. And may you walk gently through the world and know its beauty all of your days. Please be well. Take care of yourself. Appreciate all that you are to yourself and to all of us. Again, be well. Take care of yourself. Thank you for practicing together, and I look forward to seeing you again. Be well. Thank you. Goodbye, everyone. And for those of you staying in your Shavasana, please enjoy the rest of your